Hey, it's Big E here. Another video today. We're going to do something a little different. Not many people here. I don't hear much about it. Maybe it's just I'm out of the loop. I don't know. I don't hear much about soldering. I know a lot of people like to use the solderless connectors where I have one here, where you put the wire in and then you crimp it. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't have good luck with it. I can do the crimp. I can get the wire to hold. And I swear, like a month later, it comes apart. So, what I do, I'm going to show you today how I solder. I know there's probably 50 different ways that you can twist the wires together, but I'm going to show how to actually use the iron and make a solder, and then I'm going to strip the wire. I'm going to put a solderless connector on, but I'm going to show you what I do to doubly ensure that connector doesn't come apart. The reason I had a connector come apart one time, I was going down to drag strip. I had a solderless connector for my electric fuel water pump. Somehow it vibrated loose, whatever. I didn't crimp it right, so I had no water circulating. Almost overheated the motor. So it was at that point I started doing this about maybe 10 years ago for all my connections. Maybe you have better luck than I do with the solderless connectors. Maybe it's just me. I'm just, messed up in the head, whatever. But I do this for me. And if you're having problems, maybe this will help you, or it's just something to try out, even if you're not having problems. So here we go. So we have two pieces of wire here. So what I'm going to do is take my stripper here, and I'm going to, they say about 1.5 inches to strip off. So I think this is 14 gauge, I believe. So, and then I like to twist the wire. Helps keep all the strands together like that. So we'll strip that. We'll strip the other piece. I apologize. I have shaky hands. I don't know why today, but I'm having a hard time here. Okay, so I have my two wires here twisted. Now, here comes the variations. Now, like I say, or I try to say in most every video, this isn't the only way to do this. It's just the way that I do it. And I know some people like to have them frayed out and they smash them together and they somehow twist them that way, solder them. If you're able to do that and you have good luck doing that, do it that way. If there's, like I said, I don't have good luck. I've tried it that way. I can't get it to work. Again, I'm just probably retarded or missing a chromosome in my head or something that I can't do it. But usually what I'll do is I'll cross them, the two wires, and then what I'll do is I'll like twist them around each other to help hold them. Now this probably isn't the prettiest twist you've ever seen, but that's how I do it. Now, so we have these twisted together. Now, what we want to do is we want to solder it to make sure that they hold. Now, one of the misconceptions are out there is that you heat the solder and you drip the solder onto the wire. That's not good. It's going to give you a cold solder. It'll hold, and then once you put it in your circuit down the road, it's going to come loose because it's not fully. It wasn't fully, penetrating in. So, with that being said, what you want to do, the theory behind soldering is you want to heat the wire, okay? Now, you need to be careful, especially if you're working with a circuit that's already pre-existing. You might have to heat sink it because you don't want to blow out components that might be close by because that heat's going to travel down the wire. So, you might have to use a heat sink. Today, I'm not even sure if I'm going to use this for anything. This is just for demonstration. So we have no need for a heat sink on this. We're just going to solder it. Maybe I'll use it to hook up some lights or something. I don't know. Or use it for a test lead. Any number of things. But my point being, I don't need a heat sink because it's connected to air. It's not connected to anything. So we're not going to blow anything up with the heat. So take your soldering iron. And what I like to do is have solder. This already has flux in it. And I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, the flux acts like a cleaner. It helps to clean the wire so the solder sticks and holds it together, I believe. If I'm wrong, let me know in comments. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stick the iron here under the wire like so, and we're going to hold it. And I'm going to, I might just dab a little on the iron just to check that it's hot enough. And then I'll hold it there. Now, I don't know, probably can't see it, but as of right now, and I'm shaking, I don't know why, but I'm dabbing the solder on the wire, not on the iron, on the wire. And it's literally soaking in. So now I'll remove, when it's what I want. Now you don't want to glob the solder on. Some people have the misconception the more the better. In this particular case, not. You want just enough solder, because if you put too much solder, now you're going to add resistance into the circuit. So you want just enough solder to hold those wires together. So that way, not only do you have a mechanical bond, but now you have an electrical chemical bond with the solder. So what we're going to do now, let that cool. Now, I don't know if you can see, well, you can see the solder here. And right. Okay, maybe I didn't get perfect, but it's holding. It's doing its job. Now, you can put it, you can take a shrink tubing, and then you put that over it, and you can heat that up, and that'll shrink wrap it. You can, I'm out of some, so I use electrical tape from time to time. I'm not going to put anything on here because I'm not hooking it up to anything, and I'm really not sure if I'm going to use this. If I do, I'll shrink wrap it. At that point, heat shrink tubing is real easy. It slides over your wire, and you cover it over where your solder is, and you just take a heat source, a lighter, whatever, or a heat gun, and you just heat it, you know, real nice and even, and it actually shrinks around your solder, and it'll keep it from shorting out and stuff. So anyway, that being said, now I'm going to go over my solderless connection. Remember, I told you I have problems with crimping it. For some reason, some of them, sometimes they come loose. So I'm going to show you what I do with that to help you out. I've learned to do this with every solderless connection I make. I take that extra time, and I'll put a dab of solder on the end. So why don't we go ahead, we're going to strip the wire here. Again, we're using 14 gauge. So we're going to we'll do that. Again, we'll twist it. I might have taken too much here, but we can always cut it back. So what I'll do is, I'll slide this in, the connector. Now what I can do is, it is a bit too long, so I'm going to snip a little bit off of there. Alright, so now, what you want to do, now that it unfreed a little bit, so twist that up. And what we'll do, we'll slide it in. Now what you want to do, I'm going to try and, I don't know why my hands are giving me a problem today. But what we'll do is put the wire, I don't know if you can see it there, just so it overlaps, because if you put it too far up in there, it's going to interfere with the other side clipping in. See, that's going to interfere with that. It's too far in. So what you want to do is you want to have that thing about where that wire, I don't know if you see again, what the heck. I can't get nothing right today. You want to take, I would say I don't know if you see the Y in the connector. Try to stay behind where it spreads out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm still going to crimp it. So when I'm at the depth I want on that, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to crimp it. Okay, so that's crimped. As you can see, it's crimped. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get solder down in there that I get a double bond on that. So that being said, if I can get it to cooperate and hold still for me, take my iron. I'm going to set my iron on the actual terminal next to the wire. Gosh, why am I shaking? I apologize, guys. I don't know what's going on with why I'm shaking today, but and what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and I'll just and then you want to pull the iron out so it leaves like a contrary when you put wires in, you want a little bit, not a huge glob, but you want like a dab on the end of that wire so it holds it onto the connector. So, now, with that being said and done, and that's what you have. Okay, and you might need to modify a little bit. Like I said, it's kind of touch and go, but it should work with your connector, ring terminals, whatever you're doing. I would suggest putting just a small dab of solder on the wire, just so it holds it on there. Gives you that little extra insurance, little extra confidence. I know for me it would be one of those where if I didn't put solder on it, I'd be at the starting line with the drag car thinking, "Oh crap, is that wire going to stay?" And then you end up. You want to make sure you have faith in your vehicle, in your drag car, whatever it is. You want to have faith in that connection. That's a good quality connection. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys out. I hope everything is helps you complete your project, and that everything is good. And like I said, works for me. It's not the only way, but that's how I do it. And I'm hoping that helps you and with yours. So anyway, everybody, take care. Watch out for each other. You can please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at EricSnyder26. You can also check me out on Facebook on Big E's Drag Specialties. Check that out. And everybody take care. Watch out for each other. And we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye now.